This video is sponsored by Loot Crate.
Han Solo the character is starting to grow on me, but this comic book hasn't really caught me yet. Hey guys, welcome to my Geek Talk. Today we are going to discuss Marvel's Han Solo #1. It's a mini-series of 5 comics, but I'm just doing the opening now. I'll do the arc a little bit later. But this story kind of happens within the crime period of the galactic conflict. The Empire is busy with the Rebel Alliance, so now we have criminal organizations like the Hutts and these like illegal races that we're going to see in the story on the rise. With that comes Han Solo. He's kind of part of the smuggler criminal underworld, so he is trying to pay off his debts to Jabba, which we know he's always owed for quite a while. And this is the best time to earn money because the Empire is kind of turning, not so much that they're turning a blind eye to crime, though they have done that in the past, but mostly because they're just busy. And so this is the best time for him to earn some money. And there's this really cool scene at the beginning of the book. Han Solo says that if you see the same face on two worlds, the best thing to do is run. And that's because, if you're on Coruscant and then all of a sudden you're on Takodana, if you see the same face in like the span of a week, that person's probably following you. It's probably a bounty hunter or a smuggler or something like that. And which is the case here. He sees like this alien character, a species I'm not really familiar with, but he's like, I can't forget that face. I've seen her twice in like the past week. I'm out of here. And so he skedaddles. But lucky for him, they capture him, this new species lady and another guy, but they're working for the Rebel Alliance and they're requesting his ship. They want his ship for this mission. But he's like, no, don't take my ship. No one flies a ship but me and Chewie. But Leia gets in on it and he's like, hey, well, if I am going to do this, it's going to be me. So he eventually agrees. And the mission is that these rebel spies, were 8 of them, I think, originally. And then now it's down to 3. They have some very important information for the Empire and they need to be picked up. But the way to kind of cover up their locations and where they are, there's this race called the Dragon Void Run. And there's 3 stops where the ships would usually refuel, but it's where Han's going to pick them up. And there's this whole plot to get them back. But the story is a little bit wordy. Like there's too many speech bubbles in the panels. This medium is usually more set to visual, especially it being a comic book, and less about words. Usually if you're going to make it very wordy, you'll make like a novel or a short story or something like that. And I feel like this comic book gets a little bit too wordy. Like the panels are filled up with too many speech bubbles, where the majority of the panel should be the action itself or whatever's going on in the comic book. And that's the medium. However, it does have very good dialogue. Like I really enjoy the interplay between Han and Leia. There's a new character called Aaron Kraken. I'm not sure how to say his name. He makes some little slights against Han Solo, which I thought were kind of funny and very witty. There's a scene where both Leia and him are talking, and then Han's like, hey, I'm here. And it was cool how it was drawn, because you have like Leia and the new commander guy here, and then all of a sudden in the middle like pops up Han Solo. It's the benefit of having a comic book and having like multi-panel stories play out, and I thought that was a really like cool little scene right there. It'd be like, hey, I'm still here, you guys are talking about me, and I thought it was funny, and Han Solo as a character has grown on me ever since I've started reading the Marvel comics, like in all the other like the Han Solo adventures, the movies themselves. Han Solo has not really been my favorite character, but getting more of this, especially in the Star Wars comics, the Marvel run of Star Wars comics, and seeing like his relationship to Luke Skywalker. And now that he's warming up on me, seeing comics like this, where he's kind of the same as he was before, with the kind of Han Solo that I didn't really care much for, I still like him. Like I like his wit and I like his overconfidence, if you will. I also love seeing the aliens of this universe, which usually happens in events like this, whether it's like the underworld or kind of on the outer rim. You don't really see that many alien species because at this time they're actually discriminated against by the Empire. But it's always great seeing stuff like this, like the Cantina or Maz Kanata's castle and things like that. And there's a lot of new species, that you see throughout here, and Han's going throughout bad-mouthing all the racers here because he's about to do this race with the Millennium Falcon, and he's like, all these racers, they think they're the best, and I've got the fastest ship, and he starts like getting into it with the other racers, and you see some cool, like you see this cool alien, it looks kind of like a chameleon, like tall like that, but then the neck flaps are different. So I'm not sure what that species is, but she's supposed to be like the oldest pilot and like the best pilot. And there's also a Chiss, I think, but he doesn't have red eyes like Thrawn does. He has like blue eyes. So I don't know if it's a Chiss or if it's a different species, but it's cool just seeing all these different species playing to each other and seeing more of the galaxy in that way. I thought though that it would be cool. I mean, the comic still has opportunity to do this, but it'll be cool if the Dragon Void Run kind of plays into Han Solo's profession as a racer, going forward in Bloodline. That would be cool if they kind of made that kind of connect a little bit with the Saber run. Maybe have a character or two from the Sabers come into this scenario. But who knows? But I think it'd be a cool idea to make again, I love always interconnecting the universe, always making this feel like it's a universe that actually has some sort of continuity to it. The art is a little inconsistent though, especially with the line work. The line work goes from like one different method to another. Like sometimes you'll have like the natural fall off line work, and then you have like stark, like really harsh line work. But it goes from good to very good. It's not like it goes from like bad to good in terms of the inconsistency, but there is an inconsistency with the art. Like it doesn't feel like it's all one artist. I didn't check to see the credits to see if it was one artist or not, but it definitely feels like it's different. Each, almost from like page to page, it feels different. So I like the comic. I definitely like the scenario that's being set up. I like the aspect of this race. And of course, like, at the end, it's revealed that the race is really deadly. The racers are getting shot out the sky and things like that. But it hasn't really captured me yet. It hasn't gotten me as stoked as I have been for, say, Obi-Wan and Anakin or the Kanan comics. Like, it hasn't really captured me like that. And that could be because I have a bias to Jedi and Jedi storylines, and I really like those. And also, it's just a setup story. We haven't really seen the entire story yet, but it's a solid comic. But it's not something that I would go out and be like, oh man, it was so great. It was just good to me, and it could still possibly surprise me with something that I will eventually love. So right now, it's I like it. It's solid. I don't really love it. I'm not really super hyped for it, but it is a very solid comic, especially if you're into Han Solo and this time of the universe, because you do get to see a little bit more of this universe. But the story itself is a little bit thin for my own interest, at least. That's it. Thanks for watching my review. Peace, love, and may the Force be with you always.
Luke's open and calm mind allowed for a more adaptable fighting style, while Anakin's reliance on talent and aggression was a bit more rigid.
No, why are you mowing your lawn right now? I'm recording a Let's Play.